Good morning, everybody. How's it going? I forgot to put my ring on yesterday or this morning, so don't think anything of it. I just don't have my ring on right now. I'm gonna put it back on, okay? Um. Anyway, how y'all doing? How's it going? Oh, by the way, I can't find my purple ring, my lavender ring. I was at Kimmy's house, and then I got home, and I didn't have it. It was kind of bigger, so I think it kind of like slipped off, and hopefully inside Kimmy's house and not somewhere outside, because it kind of rained a little bit, wind gusts. Anyway, yeah. So I haven't put on my that white opaque or my jade ring, but don't think anything of it. Don't read into it. Okay. Um. Anyway, so I just wanted to make a quick video about. I told the neighbor going to work. It's bright outside, but schedules happen to be coinciding. So I told the neighbor outside my bedroom window, go to work. I leave the house at 7 a.m. So I said, you know what? I might as well just make a political video, seeing as that's my work. It's a little windy, so I apologize if that's an annoying sound. But anyway, I thought I'd make a quick video about this. If y'all were wondering about this men and women's sports issue, so I said, you know what, I might as well go ahead and address it. I thought I already had, but it was a while ago, and maybe it wasn't specifically in sports. So I'll go ahead and address it again. Why not? So the neighbor outside the bedroom window has a job. I might as well get to my job here. Anyway, so having lived my life before 2020 as a self-identified progressive liberal, there's I've never really had the situation, encountered the experience of a male transgender to a female wanting to be a professional athlete. When I first heard about all this stuff, I was like, are you kidding? If we have to as women, and we have to compete with them, it's probably going to be like they do really good makeup and hair. What are they talking about competing in professional sports? I don't know if feel free to say your opinion. I've lived in San Antonio, Texas my whole life, but again, having considered myself a progressive liberal up until 2020, and then I changed political parties. So you can change political parties because you're of your partner. Yeah. You can, in case you're wondering. But anyway, so first off, I had never heard of my first argument point, note of discussion is it's really pretty today. And again, I had never heard of that. And if that's the case, I just wonder why the solution wouldn't be joining a co-ed team. As far as transitioning, I am a staunch supporter of holding off that transitioning until you are 18 and up, for lots of reasons. They say, oh, well, if the technology is there, why shouldn't we use it? Well, you say technology, it's like medication, and to this day, medication is never accurate and precise across the board, you know. So I wouldn't really consider it technology per se. I think when there's technology inherent in that kind of stereotype idea of it is accuracy and precision, which again I think is heavily stressed anywhere you go. That's just not the case with medication and pharmaceuticals and medicine in general, right? They say for the most part, but everybody's brain chemistry is different, and there is a possibility this could have different side effects varying with each individual. So there's always that choice, that going on there. Again, with the kids, I think you should just be an adult when you make that decision. This is, you know, having to deal with the sexual nature of things. And so I think that should just be a given right there, to hold off until you're 18, especially concerning, you know, how permanent everything can be. And I'm not saying that to scare you, but I'm just saying, like, it is of a sexual nature. It's one thing if you want to live your lifestyle a certain way. That's one thing, but it's quite another to bring in the sexual nature of the transitioning. And I just, it is of my opinion, that should be something that happens at 18. You want to make that decision, you can make that decision when you're 18. 1 second. You stop again. Benja, let's go. He's just not listening to me this morning. Good puppy. Let's go. Let's go. Benja says good morning. And so also, I never knew it was an issue. I've been living my whole life as a progressive liberal before 2020, and had never encountered the issue of men wanting to participate in women's sports merely because they're transitioning into a woman, taking the steps and endeavoring to do so. I never heard of that. So before 2020, living as a Democrat has never been an issue, never been a discussion, never been a political debate, nothing. But and so there's that, and then the I think you should just wait till 18. I think as far as safety, business venture, that is a hospital and stuff like that, elective surgeries and all that, I think there should be an age limit. Like smoking cigarettes, right? Buying cigarettes, buying alcohol, voting, those all have age limits. And so I'm gonna go ahead and whatever the reasoning is, which I might not be explaining too well, for there to be age limits for that, I'm a group transitioning with that. And also, I guess my third point, and with that, the transitioning, waiting till you're 18, just join a co-ed team. There's plenty of them. I been a part of co-ed team. I don't think there was ever any sports that I've been in that were just an all-female. Every sports that I've ever been in has been co-ed. Except of course in the dressing rooms. But that was really only with the swimming. So obviously, which brings me, kind of goes into my next point. But yeah, just join a co-ed team. Wouldn't that be great? I don't think I've ever been on a sports team that wasn't co-ed. I've been in swimming, soccer. I've been in basketball, but that was when I was in high school, and it was not co-ed, or not high school, middle school basketball, and it was the school had a female team, and they had a male team. I think we called it a girls and boys team. Anyway, which brings me to my third point of which is kind of involved. This like I said, I had never known it to be an issue, and I think that it's very odd for a grown adult male to want to compete in women's sports. Even if you're transitioning into a female, why wouldn't you compete with the men? I think in the most recent Olympics, it was boxing, where that happened. Obviously controversial, obviously. So you're not gonna like play tennis or basketball or something where it's a little a non-contact sport. It's gonna be boxing. Okay. So I've always been in question of what's going on there. Is this being transgender, is that really what the issue is? Is that really what's going on here? Has always been my main concern. Because like I said, I've been self-identified as a progressive liberal before 2020, and I had never heard of that. And what I have heard of the transgender community is, as far as the community goes, there's higher levels of homelessness, and also higher levels of abuse, sexual abuse. So I think it's important to take note as far as identifying as a vulnerable community, a minority community. Vulnerability is something that, if you're a predator in society, that's obviously something that you're going to go for, right? So I would just making this video that I decided to do this morning. I was just wondering what the statistics were of all that. What is the statistics of a male that transitioned into a woman abusing women? What are the statistics of transgender having abuse and violence? Homelessness and stuff like that. So that's why I was just like, I had never heard of men wanting to be in women's sports, whether you're transitioning or not. That seemed absolutely ridiculous to me. Why wouldn't you just compete with the men? Is this, and you compete in the women's, and then you happen to be really good at it and get first place or second place? That just seemed really off to me. And another thing that I wanted to note with this, with the transgender community, I'm not an expert, and I'm sure people are gonna find a fault with what I say, whether it be about this subject or another. But I've always found like it could be you're a male with but in your brain you're a female, but I think it's kind of a little bit more than that, or not just that, and I feel comfortable saying that now in this discussion because I think it's a lot about not just a man body with a woman brain. I think it's again goes with this what I'm wondering what the statistics are with this violence, because I think if you're a transgender, there's this it's not just you're a female, it's you have joined this community, and obviously there are sensitivities and stuff that go with that. So this whole, you're a grown man, a professional athlete, transgender, competing in women's sports. It just doesn't follow what I know in my experience with the transgender community. So, in case you're wondering, I think it's odd. I've never read about this problem before 2020, and I think it goes counter to a lot. And I say that and emphasize that because people who don't have that as their everyday or whatever, that's what they're gonna see, and they see the likes of Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott. So Greg Abbott's been messing up a lot, but he's certainly not messing up with this I guess what some people call transgender insanity. And I've known that to be a minority group. I said that how many out of, is it 1 in a million people are transgender? What are even the statistics on that? So yeah, I just found it really odd and attention seeking at best, and for there to be this political divide of looking at things. I mean, how convenient. Never in my life have I heard of a man wanting to participate and win medals in women's sports, and then now all of a sudden it's a big Republican issue. It was quite scary for me about this children transitioning, and that's my opinion. I think that should be wait until 18. There's like what I'm saying with Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz. I mean, if you voted for them, you voted for them. I don't care. But I do think they have a certain lane, and they're going to their job security is being viewed as a certain type of Republican. For some reason, that's their job security. Excuse me, right? So arguably, I can have job security, and I don't have those constraints for whatever reason. But yeah, I think it's kind of a really interesting issue, one that I had never known about before 2020. I think it's very serious with this transitioning under 18. I really think it should be, you need to wait until you're 18. Just with like smoking, drinking, voting, a lot of things. That's just how it is. And it's for the safety of the child, right? And again, once you're 18, you're 18. You're an adult, and have at it. Do what you want to do. Go live your life. But again, as far as this transgender competing in sports, I had never heard of it. It seems really odd to me. And something that the likes of Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz have absolutely zero problems spending 4+ years as part of their platform. So that really helps them in their little Republican stance, right? And you know, if that's their position on it, that's their position on it, and that's one I happen to agree with. So I don't think they should be in women's sports. Seems ridiculous. If you want to be in that, then join a co-ed team. I don't understand what the issue is. I think maybe the co-ed team is mainly for like not professional athletes. Well then, if there's that much of a demand, then make it co-ed. Have a professional athlete where it's co-ed then, if there's that much of a demand for it. But yeah, just this issue of it, I had never heard of it before, and then now all of a sudden it's a hotbed issue for whatever reason, and obviously people taking advantage of all of that. You know, where did this come from? You know, never in my life have I heard of a male wanting to be competitive in sports and then go against women. I don't know, it just, to me, it kind of falls in line of this like self-confidence thing. You know, how you gonna treat me like this? You must not be a very confident individual. Not one debate, not one interview, not nothing. But you're gonna tell everybody you're a confident, healthy, functioning adult individual. So that math don't add up. Okay, it just doesn't. So to me, it goes along the lines of that. It's just, why are you getting your confidence like that? That it seems really odd to me. Dare I say, predatory. And obviously, again, if transgender community is not in your 6 degrees of living, obviously it's not going to be helpful for that. Because like I said, there is a history of violence and abuse and all of that, prejudice. So, but I'm a millennial, living my life in Texas. I personally have never seen that happen. And I say that not to, one second. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I personally have never, living in Texas my whole life, I've never met a Republican that was like against the LGBTQ community. I just haven't. And I don't say that to negate, I don't know what the right word is for that. I don't say that to quiet the experiences other people have had, but I just say that to maybe just feel like that's been my experience living my entire life here in San Antonio, Texas. And so if you don't want to go somewhere for, you know, very specific reasons, I'm just letting you know my experience, my life experience. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. I think it's very odd as far as what I know about transgenderism. It kind of goes against girl code to be competing in sports like that. This kind of attention seeking kind of issue, and I'm just going to make the blank label as that. Obviously it can get more involved. Yeah, but this negative attention seeking, I'm just going to say attention seeking because I hope that doesn't trigger you. If you like attention, you like attention. I'm not including you in that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter this morning. In case you're wondering, I just wanted to clarify if there was any questions, comments, or concerns. And again, I support my husband. Okay, I believe in him and his ideals, and uh, so yeah, it's not a subservience type of thing. And I mean, it might not be obvious to y'all, but it's just not a subservience type of thing. He's just really smart and intelligent, and he has a life experience, and uh, we have the very similar goals, like the same goals. So for the most part, as far as work environments and stuff. But anyway, with that aside, we basically have the same goals, okay? And so he's completely fine with if he happens to look like the bad guy. You know, Ted Cruz sure doesn't. Greg Abbott sure doesn't look like the bad guy. You know what I'm trying to say? So anyway, he's and what I've always admired, I said it's hard to do. You take these risks. You're the one doing the right thing, and the people around you that want to uh, take credit aren't do not have similar goals. But you still have to work with whatever they throw at you and stuff like that, because you believe in that goal. That is something that you believe in. So yeah, with that being said, those are my thoughts of the transgender community. If you happen to know those statistics, again, I think those would be really helpful, because I think this whole issue of it's because and I think a lot of people would say, they say my hair, they say there's a sensitivity that maybe people of the LGBTQ community have towards women, that people, whether you're straight or not, whether you're a man or woman or not, acknowledge and recognize. And yeah, those are my thoughts on that. So I guess that's what I have to say. It feels great out today. Another great day. Gonna stay at my sister's this Thursday and Friday. She's gonna leave me some money so I can have some good eating. But yeah, another day, another dollar. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later.